and welcome to another video from Whole Reese Artist. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good week whenever you and wherever you are listening to and watching this video. I thought this week I would talk about something which I have found quite challenging, but which I'm coming to enjoy, and that's painting uh, human hair, in portraits. It's very fashionable these days, isn't it, to talk about being on a journey, and I've been on a journey in a sense since the start of the first lockdown here in the UK in March 2021, when I basically started this digital painting, or painting on a computer, uh, because I had to stop my studio-based photography business. Uh, at first, I really found uh, painting human hair really quite intimidating, quite scary. But actually, as I've done more of it, and I've done quite a few now for my lessons as the online art school to which I belong, and also for my own portfolio, I'm now really coming to enjoy it, and I really find it quite almost therapeutic and very satisfying. So I thought I'd talk you through a bit more about how I do how I paint human hair. To do that, I've got a portrait that I've started. It's of a young lady who was taking part in a 1940s themed photo shoot, which is something that I've had done one or two paintings from that shoot before. Uh, you can see she's sitting in front of a window, a stained glass window, probably a handmade stained glass window as well. So a very interesting thing, with a bit of a brick wall also behind her. And I should show you the original photograph. That's the original photograph. And I want to paint her hair as part of the portrait, and I'll just show you what I've done up until now. I've just blocked in the background, I've blocked in her jacket and her neck and her scarf, which has got some lovely colours and textures in it. But I haven't painted her face, and I haven't painted her hair. I'm not going to paint her face today. I might well do that in the next video, but because there's some interesting challenges in painting the face. But I thought today we would paint her hair. Now, to do this, I use a particular brush, which I get from the art school that I belong to, and it's called a straight magic brush. And you should be able to see actually on the. Let me put it on a dark area. You can see the brush just just above her forehead, and it's a brush which has got directionality to it. So as I turn the pen in my hand, you can see the brush is turning as well. And it is a lovely brush to use. Now I'm going to actually make it a little bit bigger. That probably makes you able to see the rotation of the brush a little bit easier. And basically you start from the roots and work out. So I'm going to start here. Yes, I'm on the paint layer. Turn that off. Back to default. There we go. Right, I'm ready to get going. And literally, it is a case of following the hair from the roots up. we just, that's the first bit I've done. You can see I've got the pattern of the light is on the hair is reproduced well by the brush, and that's quite a simple bit, but and I can carry on along the top of her forehead, just being careful. Ooh, I made a bad brush stroke there. Anyway, let's try again. If you go over against the grain of the hair, it all tends to go to mush, which is a technical term for not good. But it's all very well when the hair is sort of fairly neat, like it is here, but where the hair gets a little bit less neat and tidy, one has to start doing effectively some editing. So what I'm going to do, just come down here over this part of the hair, and basically as I'm going along, I'm smoothing out and tidying the hair effectively. Now that's not very sort of much perhaps fashionable these days, but for a portrait it is actually something important to consider. You wouldn't necessarily always do it. Maybe you would keep the hair, some of the natural texture patterns of the hair, because it says something about the individual. But for a portrait, which is going to last a lifetime, if not longer, fashions of hair fashions now are not always necessarily going to last very long, and it can be just sensible for your client to just tidy things up a little bit, shall we say. And this is what I'm doing now as I'm going around, effectively giving her a slightly fuller, slightly sleeker head of hair. As I come up to the top of her head, I'm deliberately sort of filling in the edges. Of the hair, and trying just to make sure that it's just a little bit of a style which reflects, or is likely to be a longer lasting. Like I say, this is a personal thing, and for a different individual might well not want to go this way, and that's fine. But it's something always that an artist has to consider. Will the fashionable look necessarily last? Will it always look appealing? Will it date the portrait much faster than perhaps you would like? Is the hair maybe a little bit thinner than perhaps the sitter would like? That's not the case with this young lady. She's got a very full head of hair, but it can be the case that the person always wanted a rather fuller um, body of hair, if that's the right phrase for it. Um, and they might welcome you actually giving them a rather fuller head of hair than they had. And that's basically what I'm doing now down here, over her left shoulder. Um, just filling in, so keeping the basic shape of the hair, but just filling things in and making it look quite a bit more sort of solid than it actually was. Now, when I turn the paint off, you can see the bits I've missed. It's always the problem with this type of work. But yeah, essentially one is going through and while one's painting the hair, one's also in a sense editing it as well. I'm lucky enough to know a couple of hairdressers, ladies hairdressers, and something I'm thinking about is actually sort of almost like shadowing them for a couple of days when they're doing different types of hair, so that I can sort of learn a bit more about how it behaves. There we are. Well, it's starting to look quite interesting. It's starting to, um, yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit more body over here in the hair. Some interesting textures, but you may be able to see if you look carefully at your screen, that some of the colour of the window behind is coming into the hair. So I can actually do something about that. I can take, so look, that would be quite nice there. There we go. I can actually take that and then I can actually start to put some of the real colour of the hair into some parts where it was thinner and the glass is shining through. Yeah. So basically, I mean, the painting of the rest of the hair is more of the same. I've done most of this side. I've got some area here which is very dark, which I just need to fill in. And I may put a little bit more light into that area. And I've also got the other side of her face, which is sort of coming away a bit that way. They come down there. And I can just work on this side of the head with the brush. I'll let the computer catch up with my brush. Now in this part I can actually sort of again fill in a little bit. That's actually looking much, you see that looks much neater, much tidier than the original. Much sleeker, and in a way much more appropriate to certainly a 1940s photograph and painting of a photograph, but also arguably something which would be a bit less time fashion bound than other than the current hairstyles. Now I'm going to carry on and finish that. We're running out of time on this broadcast, but I will finish that and then paint in the face, and perhaps we'll do that next week so that we finish this off. So thanks for your time. I do appreciate it. I know there's a loyal, small but loyal group of people who watch these videos, and if you do, thank you. Please tell your friends if they might be interested, and we can grow the little community that that watches these videos and learns about oil painting in the 21st century. So from me, God bless. I hope the rest of your week is really, really good, and see you again soon.